Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
This is Foreman Red James, and you're listening to Mark, the piece of shit garbage man on Can Crushers.
Well, now, that's not the beginning that you want on your own podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Can Crushers Wrestling Spotlight. I am Mark the Mark. I am a garbage man. Hopefully, you don't think I'm a piece of shit like the Foreman Red James. But I have a very special guest on the show today. All the way back to Oklahoma we go, one of my favorite states. We get tons of wrestlers on here to talk about how they got into the business, this, that, or the other. And we always have a debate, of course. But if you've listened, you know what debate comes up, and we'll circle back around to that, I am sure. My guest this week on the Spotlight is the Gatekeeper. Now, I'm not sure. There's times, yes, he's a savior. He does this, do that. But I wonder how he is going to like Can Crushers. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to kind of, I don't know, just be mean? Because I've seen two different ways of the Gatekeeper, and I don't know. I'm a little worried. But we'll figure it all out in the interview. Guys, I have to tell you about all the cool things that's happening here on Can Crushers. Collar and Elbow is one of them. One of the longest, in fact, sponsor that we have is unbelievable. Make sure you check out Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have there. Check them out. Buy all the merch you can and use the promo code Can Crushers to save yourself some money. And it's awesome. New merch on the way right now at Collar and Elbow, so make sure you check it out. Don't forget, we have the WWE affiliate code in our description. Make sure you click on that, and we're very transparent on the show. Sometimes you will get a discount, sometimes you won't, but you know, if you want the new Roman Reigns shirt or an LA Knight shirt or whatever, it will help us out. You know you're going to buy the shirt, so just help out one of your favorite podcasts out there as well. Don't forget, we have merch as well over at CrowdMade. Make sure you check them out. And then when you're there, type in Can Crushers. You'll see our shirts available, hoodies, tees, stuff like that. Buy one, wear it in Oklahoma, and say, hey, man, this is one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to because these idiots talk wrestling, and they have cool spotlight shows. So do all that. Where can you find us? Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads. You know where it is. Join in all the discussions. Where can you listen? Everywhere the podcasts are. You know, whatever your favorite app is, have it be Spotify or iTunes or whatever. We're there. Give us a rating, a like, a share, any of that, because it does help bump up, you know, the ratings for the podcast. Or even if you hate us, it still bumps us up to being kind of noteworthy, I guess. So thank you. Don't forget, we're also available on YouTube. Just the audio version. But you can like, subscribe, and share to that. It's Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Go over and do all that cool stuff on YouTube if you like listening. But, yeah, that's enough. That's enough for right now. I want to get in this interview and see what the Gatekeeper has to say.
Hey, this is Maddie Monarch, and I absolutely love Can Crushers Podcast. Come check us out every week.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. Guys, you heard how excited I was, yet a little scared because he's like a phenom out there, and I don't know if some bad mojo is going to come through the phone and all that, but he's a champion everywhere he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, how the hell are you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome. My Eagles are winning.
Shut
Hopefully my
your
Chiefs
mouth.
win.
We had a little conversation off air, and this guy, all of a sudden. Yeah, this guy.
Yes, sir. I'm doing awesome, man. I'm doing awesome. I can't complain.
Good. How, I know we're a little bit away from the holidays before we get into the meat and potatoes in this, but was everything good for the holidays? New Year treating you well?
New Year's has treated me well. I am very stoked for what's in store for me in 2025, so I'm excited.
Awesome. So tell everybody where you're at and all of that before we dive into the cool questions.
Got you, yeah. Born and raised here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Lived here my whole life, so.
You love it
About
there,
time
right?
to get up out. I love it here, but it's time for me to find something different. So
Spread your wings, get over here to
spread my wings and fly.
come over to Pennsylvania. Yeah, not with the snow, right? Not with the snow.
Not with the snow. Probably not.
Yeah. We got another 4 inches literally prior to recording, folks, so that's my life right now, but nobody cares about me. They care about the Gatekeeper, who is a champion of champions, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's rewind when you were a little Gatekeeper, because these are the stories that I really like. Like, who showed you professional wrestling? Mom, Dad, Aunt Sally, Uncle Joe? Like, how'd you find this crazy sport?
Well, to be honest, it was my aunt. It was her and her sons. They were watching Rikishi, and I was like, what in the world is that? What is that? And so after that, I pretty much just fell in love with wrestling. I mean, we'd always wrestle. I'd always wrestle with my cousins. And so it just became something that I enjoyed to watch and do.
No disrespect to Rikishi. He did his thing. He was good. He was unbelievable. But that is a first thing that you remember. Like, there's so many.
That is the first thing I remember as a child. I was just like, what? Like I said, what is that? But, I mean, the first person to ever catch my eye, obviously, would have to be The Undertaker. I mean, when I saw him roll his eyes in the back of his head, I was scared. But I wanted more. I wanted to see what he was doing. I mean, I think it was when he started doing his Ministry of Darkness.
That's my favorite Undertaker. Don't get me wrong. I love classic when, Brother Love brought him in, because that's like the first rendition. I wasn't a fan of Rollin' Undertaker, but the Ministry of Darkness was by far my favorite.
Well, it's definitely my favorite. With the goatee. Oh, yeah.
Crucifying Steph, getting,
exactly.
all of that. Yes.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, all of that.
So Undertaker piqued your eye. Who else was somebody that, some of your other favorites as well?
For sure. Definitely The Rock, Triple H. Love Triple H. Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest of all time. Ric Flair. I mean, I could keep going. I fell in love with it. So definitely Undertaker was up there for sure. And Charlotte Flair is actually the one that got me off the couch to she motivated me. She inspired me. I saw her growth in the ring from NXT onto the main stage. And I can remember just sitting down, like watching her growth. And I was just like, man, what am I waiting on?
Are you excited that she's returning in the Rumble?
Of course. And I know she's going to win it. Woo!
There you go, because you just stole the question right out from my mouth as I was going to say it. I was going to say, prediction, is she going to win? We've already kind of hinted on Saturday's show. We have a prediction show this coming Saturday, but we've hinted that it only makes sense for her to win, right?
I mean, it's time. It's time for the Queen to get back on top. I know she's been letting everyone else get their shine, but it's time for the Queen to shine some more.
And then does she pick Tiffy at WrestleMania?
I mean, unfortunately, it is going to be Tiffy time, but I think the Queen's going to give her a run for her money.
I think so, too. I think, you know what, I'm not going to ruin it. Listen Saturday when me and Jenks goes over all of everything that we're going to say, but you're on par, Gatekeeper. You're on par.
Yes, sir.
So what did you do as I know you kind of gave us a little bit of that answer, but we'll wrap back around to it with Charlotte getting you off your ass. But what'd you do as a kid? Were you, you're a bigger guy? Were you in football, baseball, drama? Because I always swing that to wrestling too.
Oh yeah, man. I did a lot of things. I did so much that kept me so busy and away from home. Uh, I did tennis.
Is that good or bad?
It's good. It's good. I said it and I was like, man, that kind of sounded bad, but in the reality of it, I was excited to just get my hands wet in anything that I could possibly do. So I did theater, I did show choir, I did tennis, track, rowing, football, obviously wrestling. So I was a man of many talents.
Okay, sing for us right now if you did show choir. You bragged about it. You have to start singing right now.
Oh, say, can you see? That's all you get right there.
Yeah, but that was phenomenal. It sounded like Fergie and Jesus, I think.
Oh, Lord. Not Fergie.
Wait, the Step Brothers reference? Come on.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. So you said Charlotte Flair had a lot for you to get off your ass, essentially. When did you know? How did you find the school? Like, give us that story, because those are really good. And if you're going to... Listen, Charlotte Flair is now getting tagged that she got you into wrestling, essentially.
Yeah, honestly, I was just down in the dumps trying to figure out my next move. I just finished graduating college with my bachelor's in psychology. And essentially, I really wasn't trying to get into the field right off the bat, because I wanted to do something that was going to make me happy, and psychology made me happy. It was fun learning about the human mind and the way people think, but I was trying to feel, I guess, not like a kid again. I just wanted to, I don't know, I just missed the feeling of being happy, I suppose. And I remember talking to my mom. We had a long conversation, and she was telling me, just, try to get into your field, try to get into psychology more. And I was like, well, Mom, I don't think that's going to make me happy. And so I had that look in the mirror moment. I know a lot of people say it, but it was real shit. Like, I looked myself in the mirror. As I was crying, I'm like, what's going to make me happy? And I remember waking up the next day and I was like, damn, dude, I just need to go and do this, because if this isn't going to make me happy, I don't know what else is going to make me happy. And it was professional wrestling. It really ultimately saved my life.
I just got the chills from that, because I feel it in your heart coming through the phone, essentially, that this is a passion. This isn't just, hey, I'm a weekend warrior. And I'm no disrespect to the people that do that, but, this is... You want WWE, you want AEW, you want TNA, one of them or all of them or whatever. Yeah. You can already hear it. Awesome.
That's all I ever wanted. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I had to revert back to that moment of what made me the happiest. And, when you're a kid, that's when you're the happiest. And so.
Yeah. Just blew my mind. It blew my mind how open you. And I had a feeling you'd be open, but I was like, boom, you're just instantly open. Have you used your degree at all? Since
Sir?
Have you used your degree?
Have I used my degree? I mean, I have not really used it, but I feel like I'm in the customer service industry, so I'm using that. I'm using bits and pieces of it daily, because there's always somebody that has a problem. There's always some situation that I can solve, whether that be good or bad. So I feel like I'm still using it to some degree. So
same here. I'm in the street business, the garbage business, and I have a communications and marketing degree. So the podcast is my way, essentially, to use the communications and marketing. You have to market to people and try to be nice to them. But all right, let's talk about training. You find your way into training. Tell us about the school that you picked, first match, all of that cool stuff.
Got you. So I reached out to a good friend of mine, Danny B, and I knew her brother also. We all went to school together, and she told me to go to the school All-Star Pro.
Yep.
And
we had a few of those people from on here, right? Yeah, I'm just wrapping that back around. One will probably reach back out to us after Wednesday, but nonetheless.
Yep. So I ended up finding myself in this marketplace building here, and there's a ring, and just me and the I believe his name was Brandon Barricade. He was there, and he showed me the ropes for everything that he could possibly show me. So he had me running the ropes, taking bumps, and by that time flew by. It was like 30 minutes. I showed up early because, I was nervous. But yeah, I was definitely nervous. And comes this guy, Luke Richmond, Liviera Vegas, Malik Mayfield. They come in there. They're running me a course, trying to make me throw up, trying to kill me pretty much.
I don't believe Malik would do that to anybody.
Exactly, right? Typical Malik.
Yeah.
Try to run me off pretty much. And essentially, they just obviously couldn't because I was still there.
So
I got to...
Go ahead.
I got to pretty much start off with those group of guys and girls, and we pretty much essentially called ourselves the Four Lifers, or as our trainer would say, his name was J.D. Griffey, he'd call us the Tribe. So
nice.
Yeah.
Did you go in, and I'm not saying a chip on your shoulder, but you had the background in your theater and your sports and everything. Did you kind of like, I got this, I know what I'm doing, or were you like, holy shit, this is a whole new era for me?
I mean, a little bit of both for sure. I feel like everything I did in my life up to that point, I did it with confidence. So I knew going into this, I knew that I would excel, but I didn't know how long it was going to take for me to get to where I needed to be. So if that makes sense.
Perfect sense. After that first day, what was hurting? What was...
Bro, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Everything. My neck. I couldn't even move. Like, I just couldn't even move. I remember laying in bed. I was like, this feels great. Like, I was soaking it in because I'm like, man, if it's going to feel like this. I remember going to practice the next day. I was like, so when does your back stop hurting? When does your neck stop hurting? Because it feels like I'm getting hit by a truck right now.
Has it stopped yet?
It did stop. I felt like I got a little callous towards it, but no, my neck is on 10 right now. But
what was the hardest thing for you to grab in training? Was it the psychology, which that doesn't make sense if you say yes because you're
no, it wasn't the psychology. It was definitely running the ropes. It was just different.
Right?
I was so used to running sprints and just running straight for it. I never have to stop. I ran through people. I didn't stop. So imagine trying to hit a cable rope and going back and forth. It seemed like it was going to be bouncy, but it's not bouncy enough. That shit hurts.
That's like the one thing that I keep saying when I did do some stuff like physically, that it's just not fun. I never want to run them again.
Yeah.
So first match, jitters, what are you feeling? Kind of, who are you essentially as the gatekeeper? Yeah,
I was not even the gatekeeper. I tell you that much. I was Ulysses Javon August, a name that was given to me from Jerome Daniels and Matt Palmer. They came up with that idea, and I ran with it for a little bit until initially I figured out that I just would rather just be the gatekeeper because it was something that I don't know.
You had a change.
That's what I was.
You had a whole change. Yeah,
I flipped the switch pretty much.
So
first match, I had the jitters for sure. I'm pretty sure I was in the ring with a mass gimmick guy, and pretty much I just whooped his ass, and it was probably 10 seconds of a match,
But it got your feet wet, right?
It got my feet wet. It got me wet, man.
All right.
No city.
This is one of my favorite questions, and I know from all of this. I'm going to give you three people. I'm going to say, who is the gatekeeper, okay? Without a doubt, the aura and everything linked around you. You said he's one of your favorites, so I got this one right. The Undertaker, I see in you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay.
The way that you do suplexes reminds me of Taz a lot.
Okay.
A lot of Taz.
I like Taz.
And then I was on the fence because you do use a pedigree, but I see you more as rough and tumble. So I was going to throw Trips in there, but I'm like, no.
Trips.
But I pulled him out.
Okay.
He's number 4. You also got some Ron Simmons slash Farouk, or like just a badass motherfucker that just wants to beat people up.
That's the first Gunther, you ask me.
It is. It is. I love
Yep.
that. So how close am I? When you think of the Gatekeeper, who do you beg, borrow, and steal from, essentially?
I would definitely say Trips for sure, Undertaker, and definitely The Rock. But I mean, Ron Simmons, he's right there. I like that. Taz, I mean, he's Taz.
Right?
So
Nice.
I wish I had the groundwork of Taz. But
well, you'd have to be a little shorter. You'd have to be a little shorter. Oh, Taz is never coming on the podcast now.
I never thought Taz, but I take that as a compliment.
Your suplexes are amazing, dude. I love your suplexes. I know you put them on every highlight or everything, but they're so crisp. That's I'm like, damn, they are good. The way you pop everything, I'm like, yeah. All right, take a break from wrestling for a little bit. We want to know your nerd/dark stuff since you're the Gatekeeper, right?
Nerd/dark stuff.
You got a day off. You're not doing any training. You're not doing any wrestling. And I know every wrestler in 8 years has told me, well, I do something in wrestling every day. No shit. We know that. But you're taking a complete break. What do? What do you like to get into?
I'm going to sound like a super nerd. Well, not really a super nerd, but I love music. So I'll play my piano. I'll learn some guitar. I'll paint. I love painting. Like I told you, I'm a man of many talents, so I'm always going to find myself doing something. Right now, I just took up sewing. I'm trying to make my own ring gear, so I like to do that.
Favorite instrument to play then?
Definitely a piano.
Nice.
I love the piano. I would break some chords right now for you, but I'm not too close to the keyboard right now.
That's all right. That's all right. Have you ever popped into a bar on a Friday night and like played Piano Man or anything like that?
I've never done that, but I have done a couple open mics before.
That's good enough.
Dabble.
Nice.
In that field as well.
I like the whole idea, and this is wrestlers should take advantage of this. You all should learn how to make your own or fix your own outfits and gear, essentially, because it costs a lot of money, right?
It does. It's not cheap.
So I like that.
It's definitely not cheap.
What are you listening to right now?
Well, I'm listening to you, Mark, and then.
I mean, like music.
But if we're talking
dink.
If we're talking music, I love all music. So right now, I've been on Chris Brown for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
But that's what I've been listening to.
Okay.
Like, when I got out the car today, I was listening to Chris Brown, Residuals, or some Sensational by Chris Brown. But right now, Chris Brown is the guy right now. But my favorite artist would definitely have to be Kanye West, Jay-Z, Beyonce. She's the queen, obviously. Harry Styles. I mean, I could keep going.
You were all over the board. You were definitely
exactly.
I love it.
I love some Def Leppard, AC/DC. Like I could just keep going. I love music.
I love it because music puts you in different moods throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
What else are you doing as the Gatekeeper? Is there any dark stuff, any rituals, or anything crazy that you do on your time off?
No dark. I sage my apartment if that's dark enough, but that's probably the most darkest thing I'll probably do. Not casting spells. I'm not making voodoo dolls or anything like that. No, I do pray a lot, but that's not very dark.
No, that's amazing. Everybody should do that. We're going to spin this around real quick and be awesome about it because... Yeah, I don't care if everybody stops listening to this because we're going to talk about prayer. Prayer is the greatest thing in the world. It is the power of prayer, and I completely love it. I bounce back and forth, and I'm going to steal this for a second. I bounce back and forth between, having the physical Bible open or an app, but I'm really so much on an app right now because I love that it's being guided through me. And you know what? It's just called Bible Chat. It's amazing. I paid for the whole year. Pop it up when I'm feeling whatever, and I type in, hey, I'm having an anxiety attack, and they'll give me Psalms to read or verses to read. Without a doubt, it's the number one thing in my life right now is the Bible and everything. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. And just you reading those verses or the scriptures, it gives you some sort of clarity, or it'll calm you down in times of need or something like that. So that's awesome to hear from you, Mark.
Yeah, getting called out at like 3:00 in the morning to
Mhm.
plow and everything. You're like, man, oh man, you just get down in the dumps, and so you're like, I need that pick me up, and you know he's there for you. So it's awesome.
I love that.
I agree. I agree. Thank you. I definitely didn't think it
I
was
think
going to
it's
go down this path with the Gatekeeper, but I love it.
Hey, I'm the savior of the world. So
I
hey,
know, but sometimes you're an asshole.
yeah, I can be an asshole to the right
People.
asshole that needs to be an asshole to the asshole. So just depends on that asshole.
Touche.
Exactly.
Now we got
nice, I can be mean. I can be nice. I can be mean. So it depends on how you want to treat me.
How were you last weekend when TikTok was shut down for 12 and a half hours? Were you okay?
Dude, I was just fine. I was on Instagram. It's pretty much the same thing.
It really is. The world was coming to an end last weekend, and I was just so shocked that people were going crazy.
Just to show you how weak-minded a lot of people are. So
I know. Open another app and pray, and the world will be so much better.
There you go. Yeah, I saw a meme saying, "Hey, your Bible app is still there."
It really is. It was.
Never left.
All right, random question time. Okay.
Got you.
We have to do this because you're from Oklahoma, where
Oklahoma.
and I'm gonna go to hell for saying it, but I have to get it out of my head right now. Where this
Yep.
goddamn question started
Jesus.
from
Let's end
Robin.
this debate. Let's end this debate.
Freaking Robin, and then it just went on from there. Tell me you're not a sociopath. How do you eat your cereal?
I definitely open my box of cereal. I'll pour it into my bowl first, and it's got to be Reese's Puff or Fruity Loop, something great, something classic. Pour those in, and then I'm gonna grab my milk. I'm not gonna weigh it out because who weighs the milk?
Right.
Nobody. Pour it on top of the cereal, and then I go in and I eat all of my cereal. Like I don't get the whole debate on this. You pour
I
the
know.
cereal, then you pour the milk and you eat it. That's it.
So you said Reese's Puffs is your number one right now, or all time?
Oh yeah, Reese's Puff, waffle crisp, honeycomb, anything sweet.
My new one. I've always been a Fruity Pebbles guy, just a plain, but now they have Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows. So that
You must be a John Cena fan.
Yeah, yeah, I am. Of course I am. Who isn't a John Cena? This is his last year. You can't tell me you hate John Cena in his last year.
You can see me.
Well, it was a great podcast. See you later. No. All right.
I mean, he lives in Philly, but isn't an Eagles fan. But
I don't live in Philly. Stop tagging the podcast in Philly. I'm 6 hours away from Philly. I can get to Buffalo and or Pittsburgh twice over before I can get to Philly. Philly's, I'm going to lose fans in Philly, but it's a redheaded stepchild. I said that. We don't like Philly on this side of Pennsylvania. We don't.
All right.
And if you do, you're a boogin.
Oh, yeah, that's a good word.
All right, a couple more random questions because it's awesome. If you were a sandwich, because I love this one too, what are you as a sandwich?
The Gatekeeper is definitely going to have to be... Man, that's a tough one. I love sandwiches, Mark. You got me right here. Because, I love a good... I would say City Bites, but I don't think y'all have that up there.
We definitely do not.
I'm just going to do it plain Jane. My mom makes the best tuna sandwiches, so I'm going to be a tuna sandwich.
There's nothing wrong with a good tuna sandwich. So let me ask you this. When you make the tuna sandwich, and you make the tuna salad and you spice it up.
No raisins. No.
Do you put extra mayo on when you... Or, like, you put the tuna salad on the bread, then do you put more mayo on? Do you like your tuna soppy? Oh, God,
I do like it sloppy like that, but no, I'm not going to add extra mayo. It already has mayo in it.
Right, but I've seen people
I'll tell you this, Mark. If it's made correctly, you don't have to add extra mayo.
Right. That could have spun the wrong way. What's your guilty pleasure right now? I didn't even think of that when you were saying tuna. Go
ahead, what'd you say?
What's your guilty pleasure right now? This is going to be X-rated, not even E all of a
I
sudden.
got you. My guilty pleasure right now is going to have to be Michelob Ultra.
That was just going to be a random question. I was going to say, what beer are you drinking right now? Because I'm sitting over here with, I get on, if you know me, the Can Crusher Nation does, I can't drink one beer all the time. I just get bored. And I just got done drinking a lot of Sam Adams. So I went generic and I went to PBR just because I like PBR every once in a while. That's
every now and then, right?
Right. So I got a sixer of that. That's my guilty pleasure today is PBR.
PBR right now minus Ultra. So.
Okay. Do you love Ultra? Do you switch around? Do you like IPAs or anything like that?
Man, I love me a good IPA. I was like, should I get a Coupe F5 right now? Which I guess you don't know what that is because you don't live in Oklahoma.
I don't.
But it's still an IPA. It's delicious. I think you would like it. Very hoppy.
Ooh.
But yes, I do love me a good beer.
Yes, it's the best. Do you dabble with liquor at all? I am not a liquor guy.
Oh, Mark, yes. You're talking to the right one today.
What's your favorite liquor? If I have to go liquor, I'd like a nice Kentucky bourbon. But other than that,
I love bourbon. When I was in my vampire stages, I thought I was a vampire, which I'm not. But I thought bourbon was my favorite. But right now, I am a tequila guy.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm definitely loving me some Casamigos Reposado.
I just vomited in my mouth a little bit from tequila.
That's fine.
Because tequila was the 21st birthday drink. Plus, my last name is Martinez, so everybody who thought the big joke was give this idiot 21 tequilas. Went to the doctor and had my stomach pumped on my 21st birthday, and we'll leave it at that.
Man, are you for real? Or?
I'm being dead serious because there was 21 shots of tequila and lots of other things. So, yeah. Welcome to my alcoholic life, and I've changed.
Hopefully, those guys that did that to you, they're no longer your friends.
They're my best friends still to this day.
I need them on this podcast right now.
Some of them have been on this podcast for years.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
they didn't even help you.
Yeah, they drove me to the freaking hospital to have my stomach pumped because.
Right, but they didn't help you drink the 21 shots of tequila, is what I'm saying.
No, because I had to drink them myself. That's what you do on your 21st birthday.
That sounds like the smart thing to do.
21 and full of piss and vinegar, right?
I guess so. If there's snow on the ground, it's a great day.
Sure. If you could go to dinner with 3 people that have passed or still living, who are those 3 people? And give us a little backstory why.
A backstory is crazy. Okay. Okay. If I could go to dinner with 3 people right now, living, dead, or whatever, let's see. This is a good one. I can't say that.
You could say whatever you want.
I know. You're right. I'm going to do... I can't say that. Number 1's going to be, man, what kind of question is this, Mark?
I said we have a couple silly questions left. And normally people are like anybody that's their idol or somebody like.
Yeah, but that is so basic. That's so basic.
Like, I want my mom, since my mom's passed. I would love to hang out with her.
I was trying to say my mom, but I'm like, man, that's so cheesy.
It's not. This is a heartfelt question, honestly.
Okay, if we're thinking heartfelt, then we'll say my grandmother, and we'll say both of my grandmothers that have passed away, and my mom. I think that would be a beautiful dinner.
Perfect. How hard was that? I would have been like, oh man, but now you made it so awkward. There's like, God, this guy's a dick. He can't even pick his family members that he wants to go to dinner with.
I just wasn't sure who I should be picking. I wasn't sure if that was a wrestling related question.
No, I said anybody. God, not see. I've gotten 3 in me already, beers, and nothing to eat today. So now you really have me all lathered up.
Well,
let's go. All right. What's your favorites? Now we're going back to professional wrestling because you've just derailed everything.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. What's your favorite storyline going on right now in professional wrestling?
I'd be selfish and say the build-up to Charlotte Flair's return.
After you,
But if we're thinking storyline wise, I gotta say the Bloodline. I mean, I'm just ready for that to ramp up some more, honestly.
yeah, I like the bloodline, and I guess the whole KO and Cody thing, which is still linked to the bloodline. At least to me, it is, right?
Yeah, that's why I include. I mean, because I know Roman's gotta step his foot back in the WWE title, undisputed title picture. So I'd say that's still Bloodline. But I mean, that's a good feud too.
Yeah,
Uh,
like a side feud of it, but yeah, one of them
but
are
if,
going to meet.
but
Yeah.
if I didn't have to say Bloodline right now, I'd say I'll switch gears and go backwards a little bit. I felt like the Swerve, his whole little title run thing was a good storyline.
Yeah. Anything Swerve's doing. I'm a huge fan of Tony Storm and Mariah right now from everything they've done the last year, and essentially Tony becoming timeless again has been pretty awesome. What needs this is supposed to be the hardest question on the show, but good lord, you made going to dinner with somebody atrocious, but whatever.
I mean, if you know the Gatekeeper does a lot of things along. So when you say dinner, it's like, yeah, I'm normally eating by myself.
Oh, now you're boo. Follow the Gatekeeper on all his socials so he gets some friends.
Yeah.
Wow, you really have me. What needs to change in professional wrestling?
What needs to change in professional wrestling? I would have to say we need to do more things together. That's what I'll say. It needs to be more of a team effort versus everyone putting each other down. I think if we have more of a togetherness, it'd be a better community.
Agreed.
For the wrestling fans and the wrestling professional wrestlers.
And the podcasters and the referees and everybody. Yeah, everybody work together, and then, wrestling. It is slowly starting to, Gatekeeper, take over the world. It really is. Well, with Netflix and chill for wrestling now is unbelievable. Max is okay, but, it really is now global. It's always been, but it is just like to have people across the world watching Raw at the same time on the same platform. It's pretty freaking crazy.
Yep.
So, and then they go independently. Yes, essentially the same thing. If there's 6 independents in one little area, put on a super show. Work some stuff.
I mean,
do some
something. It's not rocket science.
Stop hating on each other. You're all trying to get a dollar in your pocket. If you work right, you'll get more than $1 in your pocket.
But yeah, I'd say togetherness. I was going to ask you if that was a good answer, but it seems like it was a good answer. I feel like
perfect.
If we have more togetherness,
I
can say that for anything in the world. If we have more togetherness, obviously, that would make the world go round.
It really would. It really would. Greatest achievement as of right now. You have titles across. Let's do it this way. Greatest achievement in the ring, okay, that you've gotten.
All right. Greatest achievement would have to be obviously winning my first world title. I mean, that would have to be your greatest achievement, right? That one for sure, winning my first NCWO world title. And then winning another world title where I started my training at All-Star Pro. So winning that world title and having both of those titles at the same time, I'd say that would be my greatest accomplishment in the ring.
Okay. We'll stick on that for a second, then I'll revisit the other greatest achievement. Were any of them, because I've had wrestlers on the show, did you know that you were winning, or was there a swerve involved that you actually won? Is there a story there?
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a story winning my first world title. I'm going into this I think it was Up in Glory 2022. January. So it's the first big show of the year in McAlester, Oklahoma. I'm getting ready to go against Jamie Hawley for the NCWO United States Championship. And I get to the stadium. And mind you, I put on 10 pounds before the show because I thought I was about to go against this big bodybuilder guy. So I was trying to look, somewhat big to match his energy. I get there, and he's like, the promoter, Richard Befford, he's like, and I love Richard Befford and his wife, Brandy. Shout out to them.
Hello.
Man, he comes up, he walks up to me, he goes, "Hey, I want to show you something." And he walks me to the ring and he said, "You see that title right there?" It was the world title. He's like, "You see that title? That's your title." I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm putting that on you tonight." So that one right there was it was a big surprise. Wasn't expected. I wasn't even thinking about winning the world championship that night, but it really was just like an early birthday present. So
Nice. How was the feels? I know you just said you were kind of like surprised or everything, but I'm sure it was the main event then. How did you process all that?
so it wasn't a main event. It was like right before intermission. So because the world champion wasn't there, so he pretty much had to vacate his championship, and his uncle Al-Farad pretty much stepped in for him. And thank God he didn't throw a flaming ball of fire in my face that night, like he did the owner, Richard Befford. But I ended up beating him. He's well over 50 years old, so he's been around
Yeah.
in the game. So pretty much really getting to learn from Al-Farad in that ring was awesome, and the way he maneuvered his way like in the ring as an older gentleman still wrestling to this day. I mean, I learned a lot from him. I wouldn't say I was excited when I won, because I was still like, wow, you're putting the title on me tonight. So I wasn't like excited. I was more so worried about how the fans were going to react. And so once the fans gave me the love, then that's when I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, then I guess it's my time.
Nice. I get it. I get the feels. All right. Greatest achievement outside of the ring, then. That was part 2 of this.
Ooh, I mean, greatest achievement outside of the ring would have to be, getting my diploma. Yeah. I would say that would have to be the greatest achievement, even though I haven't really used it. It would still have to be the greatest achievement that I've achieved outside of wrestling. And then, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do that.
Should have asked this way back, but you know how I am. I'm a gnat. I completely forget stuff once in a while. You tell the family that, hey, I'm getting into professional wrestling, and I'm not going to use this. And I know Mom was pushing, hey, do this, do this, do this. But you say, hey, no, it's professional wrestling or bust. How do they feel? Do they come and see you? Are they making merch with you? All of that.
Man, my family was 10 toes down. So they were definitely there. Pretty much all of my shows. My family was always there. Obviously, not the ones where I'm traveling to Arkansas or Texas to, but any Oklahoma show, my family's there, and they're going to make sure you know that they're there. So
nice.
That's where all the chants come from most of the time. So they get the crowd rowdied up. So
you need somebody. You need hype men or women. Yeah. We've talked a lot about greatness for you. Champions everywhere, doing cool stuff, kicking ass, and we need an embarrassing moment now.
Embarrassing moment for the gatekeeper.
Many probably don't happen because you're the gatekeeper, but there is something that happened.
So we're talking wrestling wise, embarrassing, correct?
It doesn't need to be.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to be conceited or anything. I can't really think of it. Embarrassing. Let's see. Yeah. I can answer a lot of questions, but this one here, it's really stubbing me.
It's a tough pill to swallow?
It's not really a tough pill to swallow. It's just, I've never really been embarrassed because I really don't care what people think. That's just how I am. So,
but that's good. I love that. I don't even give a shit if you have a story anymore now because
I don't even have a story. I felt like Charlotte Flair when I answered it, honestly.
Wow. Her and Andrade getting divorced and Gatekeeper sliding right in all of a sudden.
At this point, huh?
Yeah. Go get it. Man. Charlotte Flair's been on this podcast more than she's been on the recent shows because she hasn't been around.
Yeah, she's the queen.
She is the queen. Does she surpass it this year?
Surpass what? The streak. I mean, her father's legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
But I guess technically she's what, a 14-time women champion. So
Yeah, but
she
hers are
got to
always
win it
quick.
2 more times.
Hers are always quick.
Yeah, hers are always quick, but
She's got them.
I'm ready for her to hold it for a couple of years. Honestly,
I am too. Honestly,
I need the queen around more. That's just all I'll say. Can we just? Yeah, that'll be the last time we'll talk about the queen. We need her around more. That's it.
Does John Cena surpass Flair's this year?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say, yeah, he is. He's gonna do it.
I've heard.
I think he's gonna do it.
I think he is too. But listen to this random theory that I'm buying into now.
No, it's fine because I might be on that same theory with you. So,
Joe Hendry called him out on Busted Open.
I did see that.
Joe Hendry is the TNA champion right now. They're merged. Wouldn't that be awesome if John Cena has a TNA title as number
That would
17?
be awesome. But why did they take it off of Nick Nemeth? You know, they didn't want him and not Dolph, but he did what Nick and John Cena to hash out their old grievances over Nikki.
Maybe.
See?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's another TNA pay-per-view before WrestleMania, so they could hash back around. But
good.
What's your crazy-ass theory then? Do you think he's beating Gunther?
I'm right there with you.
Okay.
But I honestly thought it was going to be John Cena and Randy Orton at WrestleMania with Ric Flair on the sideline with them, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. I would have liked it, though. I really would have. What's on tap for the rest of 2025? I know we're essentially, let's just fast forward. We're in February, essentially, but what's on tap for the rest of 2025? Where do you want to go? What do you want to knock off? Are there some states that you really are looking at that you have never been to?
I got you. So, honestly, I'm about to hit a big birthday, and for some great idea, I decided to go out on a limb and move across pretty much the country. So that's really what's in store. I can't really give you like my plans because I have to get there first in order to make more plans. But essentially, I want to move to Las Vegas, Nevada.
I knew that. I had kind of figured somebody put something in your ear too, but yeah.
Yeah. So I want to branch out into that district and pretty much spread my wings and fly. Whether that's wrestling, whether that's entertainment, whether that's just life-changing situations. I'm just excited as a man to just be able to do that with no baggage. So I'm excited. So that's the plans for 2025, and then
how soon is that happening?
Here in a few months.
Okay.
So right after WrestleMania season.
Okay. So we still have a little bit of time that you're in and around Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, I got a couple more bookings here in Oklahoma. I'm not trying to do too much because I'm really focused on making this life-changing situation happen. So
good for
that
you.
My life can be a little bit better.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you to be able to do that, to uproot everything and just tackle life, right?
Yes, sir. It's important.
What is the best advice that you've gotten from somebody, maybe a veteran or somebody that you saw on a con? You know, you run into legends on con or something, you know. Who told you the best advice about professional wrestling?
I'm definitely going to have to say Charlie Haas. One thing that stuck with me was as soon as you hit the curtain, that's when you're telling the story. So every time I hit the curtain, I want to tell that story, whether that be on my face, whether that be from my mouth, whether that's me vocalizing that aura to the fans. Definitely, when I hit the curtain, I'm telling the story. And so I try to remember that every time I'm hitting the curtain. And one more thing that someone else told me was, fuck those moves. It's like, just tell the story. Let the fans tell you what's next. So.
Yeah, exactly. This is really a fan-driven sport, right? That if it's done right, the fans can lead you that a headlock is the greatest thing of the night.
Exactly. And so I still have to find myself time and time again remembering to F those moves, but
Right.
that's probably one of the best advice I could probably ever get in this business, because I don't try to go out there and put on a top 10 classic and 450 splashes and doing all of this and that. I just go out there and, like you said, I'm Ron Simmons, whooping that ass, and that's it. I'm taking names.
Yeah, that's. Let me tell you, I've said this for years. I don't need 17 cartwheels to go into an elbow. I think
That's
the whole thing makes look like crap. Then just wrestling is beating people up and telling a story why you're beating them up. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Old school. Dream match then. When you're out in Vegas and it's big time out there. What dream match do you want? Who, where, and what's the stipulation in the match?
Man, I can pick anybody, or does
anybody. I already have one for you, but I'm gonna wait.
Okay. I feel like if I would say, I'm gonna say two different people, and I'll do the Vegas area, and then I'll do just a dream match, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So the first person I want to get in the ring with will have to be Ice Williams. I want to get in the ring with him. It could just be a normal match. I just feel like I will learn a lot in that ring with him. I feel like we will complement each other very well. And then a dream match of mine would have to be Takesha. I definitely want to go against him one day. I don't care the stipulation. I just want to get in the ring with him.
Okay. Do you have any place special that you'd want the match, like Madison Square Garden, the Alliant, the old World Class Championship Wrestling in Texas, or anything like that?
No, I don't care about where it's at. I feel like as long as I'm in the ring with them, I feel like that's the moment, and that's the moment being made. So
I have you and Undertaker in a coffin match.
Oh man, that'll never happen.
These are dream matches. That's why I said it could be anybody. No,
you could have said Darby Allin.
Well, it could be Darby Allin.
That's more realistic.
It is more realistic, but this is what I would dream. Because you're so Undertaker-esque. You hold that presence and everything. That's what I want to see. He's 900 years old, but
it could be a boneyard match, coffin match.
There you go, a boneyard match. It makes him look great again as you're kicking his ass and tossing him in there. Yeah. All right. You want to give out your socials? You have merch. Where are you going to be so they can find you? Did I forget anything that you want to bring up? I mean, we can go back and talk about whatever you want to, but I would definitely want your socials and everything out there.
No, you did awesome. Let's see. So my socials will definitely be at Gatekeeper _5. That's my Instagram. And you can follow me on Facebook. It's just The Gatekeeper, or you can find me as The Gatekeeper on Facebook, and you can like that page if you would like. My Twitter is the same. It's Gatekeeper5. YouTube is The Gatekeeper Wrestling. Please go look at my YouTube. I got some matches on there. I still have more to post. Let's see. What else did you say?
Where else are you going to be before?
You can find me on Pro Wrestling Tees. I do have merch on Pro Wrestling Tees.
And then if there's any dates that you want to announce before you take a sabbatical, essentially.
No important dates coming up. I do have a few bookings coming up, but it's nothing important to tell the fans on Can Crusher.
Oh, wow. Dude, screw you, fans. Yeah. You're not getting anything.
No one cares about this trash can dump.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah,
it went from really a great podcast to Bible study to hating on each other to now you just despise me. This is great.
Well, because I remembered that you're not a Eagles fan, so it just kind of flipped a switch in my head. That was like, wow, this guy really is trash.
Wrap it back around to the Eagles. Well, hopefully whomever they play in the Super Bowl, they get blown out of the water.
That's fine, because I'm a Chiefs fan, which you already know, so that's going to be great.
And I hate you for that game, too, because I'm a pseudo Buffalo Bills fan right now, too. This is the worst podcast to do on a Sunday. That somebody's hating on me.
It is, but hey. You know, everything happens for a reason. I think you needed to hear that. So
I agree. No, we both did. The time that we both talked, about our Bible study was awesome.
that was awesome. It really was. Not a lot of people really like. It's the simple stuff for me. So you can get back to the bread and butter. I love that.
Yeah, I agree. Gatekeeper, when you go and you set roots in Vegas and do your thing out there, holla back. I want to know what you're doing out there. We'll have you back. We'll have you, on. You need to get more time on than Malik, so you have like 3 more podcasts before you catch up to him, because I'm sure he's calling before this even finishes to get back on for one more time.
I'm sure he will be. You know, the moment's always trying to make his moment. And I guess I'll leave y'all with, some interesting story about Malik Mayfield. We'll do that. And I'm sure he has no clue that I'm doing this right now. But unfortunately for all the fans out there, the moment Malik Mayfield and the Gatekeeper were freaking cousins, long distance cousins at that. And the fact that I even found this guy in that marketplace renter center building training, and he pretty much showed me the ropes over that whole year of me just, learning the ropes and getting out there, and him being my friend and me hating his guts. And, Sister B could tell you more about that, but couldn't stand Malik. And then for me to be at work one day and this woman tells me this story about her nephew and how he's a wrestler and this and this. And then she tells me that her brother lives in Oklahoma and that's why she's here. And the brother so happens to be my great aunt's husband, which makes... And then this woman, so that would make Malik my long distance cousin, technically, because that woman was married into my family, or her brother was married into my family, and then she's Malik's auntie. Well, that would make me and him long distance cousins, and that was the worst day of my life. So
that's your embarrassing story.
Embarrassing moments. I should have said that because that was the most embarrassing moment I ever had to deal with. Was knowing that Malik Mayfield was my cousin.
I don't know if there's a better way to end this podcast.
That's how we're going to end it. Because look, a cheerleader.
Gatekeeper, I love you. This was a blast. Thank you.
It was, man. I didn't know what to expect, but I had fun. This is my first podcast, so you popped that one.
Yay! Come back, please.
I will have to. It might be under a new persona. We'll see.
Hey guys, this is Olivia of Vegas, and I am the fashionista of fame from OKC, and you're listening to Can Crushers.
What an amazing interview with the Gatekeeper. So much more than I bargained for. Oh, him and his Eagles, whatever. He's got the Super Bowl that he wanted. Nobody else wanted but him. So happy that the Gatekeeper is going to be Super Bowling it up by himself. This was fun. This was fun, from learning that he got professional wrestling from his aunt to The Undertaker, The Rock, and Triple H, and then just the stuff that he did as a kid. But what I took out of this 100% was, and I know it's just a snippet in there, but we talked a little bit after the podcast as well, was just so much what the Bible means to both of us right now. And it really is amazing. It really is, because if you follow me on any social medias, you see that I am very much into Romans 12:10 right now, which is love one another. That came through. That came through in this interview with me, because it was kind of just a little down in the dumps getting started, because you heard us talking about work a little bit and everything like that. But when you love and you can feel the love, and we had more interaction prior to the podcast and stuff, but we just hit it off real good. And the Bible just kind of came thrown right into the mix of things, and you just had that love for each other during this podcast. So, guys, it is something that myself and the Gatekeeper will tell you, that Have it be you're going through some depression or you're going through some anxiety, you're going through anything you have, the answers are in there in the Bible. And I'll tell you again, I'll say it's just called Bible Chat, the app that we have. So, Gatekeeper, I know this is a professional wrestling podcast, but what you did for me during the interview really got me rocking and rolling even more. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know that we have a connection from here on out, have it be through wrestling in the Bible or me hating the Eagles and you loving the Eagles or whatever. We definitely are not sociopaths because we eat cereal right. So, guys, that's the Gatekeeper, one of the greatest guys out there. Make sure you check out social medias and see what he's going to be doing here in 2025. I'm excited to have him come back on once a rebirth happens, possibly, maybe. I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll see. Gatekeeper is going to be close to our hearts for so many reasons. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know.